Have you ever wondered how a single treaty can shape the destiny of two nations? This is no hypothetical question, but a reality that unfolded in the mid-19th century with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. This significant piece of paper, signed and sealed in the year 1848, forever altered the destinies of the United States and Mexico. This treaty wasn't just a simple agreement, but a pivotal moment in history that ended the Mexican-American War, a conflict that had raged for nearly 2 years. Its consequences were far-reaching, extending beyond the boundaries of war and peace. It redrew maps, shifting territories and shaping the geopolitical landscape of an entire continent. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was more than an agreement, it was a catalyst for change, a turning point that marked the end of one era and the beginning of another. The Treaty of Guadalupe did just that, and today we are going to delve into the events leading to this historic agreement. The journey towards the Treaty of Guadalupe began with the Texas Revolution in 1835. Now this wasn't just a random uprising, it was a culmination of a series of events and tensions that had been brewing for years. The Texas Revolution was a rebellion of colonists from the United States and Tejanos, in putting up resistance against the Mexican government. This revolution was a fight for independence, a struggle for self-governance. Texans, with their roots in the United States, were not keen on being ruled by a distant authority, especially one that did not share their language or customs. Now, fast forward a few years to 1846. The tensions hadn't eased. In fact, they had escalated into the Mexican-American War. The United States, under the banner of Manifest Destiny, believed it was their God-given right to spread across the continent, from sea to shining sea. But standing in their path was Mexico, a nation unwilling to give up its northern territories without a fight. The Mexican-American War wasn't just a war of ambition and territorial expansion, it was also a clash of cultures, of different ways of life. The United States, driven by a sense of destiny and a hunger for land, locked horns with Mexico, a nation trying to protect its sovereignty and territorial integrity. But wars have a way of changing the status quo, of reshaping the political landscape. The Mexican-American War was no different. It ended with a decisive American victory, leaving Mexico with no choice but to cede its northern territories. This war was more than a conflict, it was a transformation, a seismic shift in the power dynamics of North America. As the dust of the war settled, the stage was set for a new chapter in the history of the two nations, a chapter that would be written by the Treaty of Guadalupe. The war was an undeniable catalyst, setting the stage for the Treaty of Guadalupe. It was this treaty that would redefine the borders and relationships of these two nations, marking a turning point in their shared history. The Mexican-American War was not without its share of bloodshed and turmoil. Indeed, the conflict was marked by numerous battles that showcased both the courage and the suffering of those involved. One of the pivotal confrontations was the Battle of Palo Alto. On May 8, 1846, American forces clashed with the Mexican army near Brownsville, Texas. The Mexican forces, numbering around 3,000, were led by General Mariano Arista. On the other side, the United States Army, under the command of General Zachary Taylor, had a force of approximately 2,300. Despite being outnumbered, the superior artillery of the American forces turned the tide of the battle. The conflict resulted in a significant number of casualties on both sides, a grim testament to the harsh realities of warfare. But the bloodshed didn't end there. The siege of Veracruz, which started on March 9th and ended on March 29th of 1847, was another significant event in the war. The city of Veracruz, a strategic port on the Gulf of Mexico, was besieged by American forces under General Winfield Scott. The siege lasted for 20 days, with the American forces bombarding the city relentlessly until the Mexican forces finally surrendered. The siege was marked by the loss of several hundred lives and left the city in ruins, a poignant illustration of the devastation that war can bring. These battles, along with countless others, painted a vivid and grim picture of the Mexican-American War. They were not just clashes of armies, but also a testament to the human capacity for endurance and sacrifice. Each battle, each life lost, was a step towards an inevitable conclusion. The cost of the war, in terms of lives and resources, was immense. The devastation wrought by these battles was a stark reminder of the price that nations pay when diplomatic solutions fail. It was these brutal conflicts that pushed the nations towards seeking peace. After all, the toll of war is not just counted in the numbers of the dead and wounded, but also in the hearts of those left behind to pick up the pieces. In the face of mounting losses and growing unrest, the need for peace became paramount. With this need, the two nations, once embroiled in a fiery conflict, began to seek out the path to resolution. At the heart of this quest for peace was a figure who, despite his humble position as chief clerk of the State Department, would play a pivotal role in shaping the future of two nations. His name was Nicholas P. Trist. Trist, a man of diplomatic prowess, was tasked with the monumental challenge of negotiating peace between two nations that had been torn apart by war. His role was not merely to end the conflict, but to do so in a way that would foster long-term peace and mutual respect between the United States and Mexico. These negotiations were not without their obstacles. Disagreements arose, tempers flared, and at times it seemed that the path to peace was as elusive as ever. Yet, Trist persevered. He understood that the stakes were high, and that the consequences of failure would echo for generations to come. Trist's determination paid off. After lengthy negotiations, the two nations reached an agreement. This agreement, which came to be known as the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, marked the end of the Mexican-American War. It was a momentous occasion, an instance where the pen truly proved mightier than the sword. The treaty did more than just end the war. It redefined the borders of the United States, adding vast tracts of land to its domain. It also established a foundation for a relationship between the two nations, opening avenues for trade, cultural exchange, and mutual cooperation. The result was the Treaty of Guadalupe, a document that would forever change the course of history. This treaty, born out of a desire for peace, would not only reshape the landscapes of two nations, but also the lives of countless individuals who called these lands their home. The Treaty of Guadalupe was more than a piece of paper, it was a turning point for both nations. As the ink dried on the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, a new era dawned for both the United States and Mexico. The immediate aftermath of the treaty saw the United States gaining a staggering 1/3 of Mexico's territory, including present-day California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and parts of several other states. This monumental land acquisition not only amplified the United States' geographical footprint, but also sent ripples of change through the nation's socio-political landscape. A great expanse of land, rich in resources and ripe for development, was now under American control. Gold was discovered in California shortly after the treaty was signed, sparking the famous gold rush of 1849 that lured thousands of prospectors and settlers westward. This sudden influx of people and wealth accelerated the United States' expansion and economic growth. Meanwhile, Mexico was left to grapple with the loss of its territory. The financial reparations from the United States, though substantial, could not compensate for the sense of national pride lost. The treaty, while resolving the immediate conflict, also sowed seeds of resentment and mistrust. Relations between the two nations remained strained, with border disputes and territorial claims frequently reigniting tensions. Yet the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was not simply a tool of conquest. It also established important legal and civil rights for the Mexican citizens now residing in American territory. These provisions, albeit imperfect in their enforcement, laid the groundwork for the rich tapestry of Mexican-American culture that thrives in these regions today. The treaty's legacy is a complex one. It marked the end of the Mexican-American War, but also sparked new conflicts and debates over slavery, over borders, over the rights of indigenous people and Mexican citizens. It was a catalyst for change, both constructive and destructive, shaping the destinies of two nations and altering the course of history. The Treaty of Guadalupe marked the end of one conflict, but it also set the stage for many more to come. The Treaty of Guadalupe was a pivotal moment in history, shaping the destinies of the United States and Mexico. This momentous contract brought an end to the US-Mexico War, a period fraught with physical conflict and political tension. It was a journey from the battlefield to the negotiation table, a path that led to peace and forever altered landscape of North America. The treaty's aftermath left a profound legacy, reshaping borders and influencing the cultural and political landscapes of these two nations. It's a testament to how feats of diplomacy can resolve even the most bitter disputes. Ultimately, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is more than just a historical document. It's a symbol of resolution, a testament to the power of negotiation over conflict, and a beacon of peace that emerged from the fires of war. So next time you look at a map, remember, every border has a story. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Every interaction helps me grow a community of people that value and love American history. Until next time, I'm Clump of Cells. Stay informed and love your history.